Well, hello and welcome. My name is Velma. You can connect with me at velmanolds.com. This is all about your leadership chat. What does that mean? You get to listen in on valuable insights from valuable leaders just like you. I want to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe so that you never miss another episode. And if this is of value to you, please share the nuggets that you're going to take away from all these great leaders. Please give a big welcome to my special guest and your valuable leader, Kyle Gillette. Hey, Kyle, welcome to your leadership chat.
Hey, Velma, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. I'm always excited to talk with other leaders and learn from them and share insights too.
Yeah, no, it's super great. I'm so glad you're here. And I'd like for you to just take a few minutes and share with the listeners a little bit about you and what you do.
Sure. So I'm a business coach to blue-collar business owners, and I help them take control of their time, grow their businesses, grow their teams in a healthy, sustainable way so they're not super stressed by that process, and also to give them the freedom and peace of mind that comes with that. Blue stands for four things, and it's be a self-aware leader. L stands for lead with accountability. U stands for use a growth mindset, and E stands for empower others. So that is my blue shirt leadership framework that I teach my clients and walk through kind of in a cyclical process to help them grow themselves and their businesses.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love that. I love how tight and focused you are. You know who you are serving and what their needs are. That's beautiful. So I'm thrilled to have you here today. I'd love for us to kick off and talk about, the valuable leader is someone that I said that person is the one that makes that impact in your life that you say, without that valuable leader, Kyle would not be the man he is today. And I'm always interested in learning and sharing with the listeners who are valuable leaders in the lives of other leaders and what kind of impact did they make. So for Kyle, who is a valuable leader in your life, and why would you say that they are a valuable leader?
Well, I'm aging myself a little bit here, but 22 years ago, is that right? Oh my good. No.
At
Okay,
least
not
set the
quite 20,
recording.
18 years ago. So
Okay.
not quite
Woo,
22,
woo,
but
okay.
whew, is right. 18 years ago, I was sitting at a makeshift desk in an apartment, just getting ready to wrap up my final quarter of college. And I was 40 pounds overweight, lost in life, really struggling, and on the phone with my parents, scared to death of being an adult.
Right.
And so we talked and they tried to comfort me. And then 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from a guy named John, and I had gone on a missions trip with him to India, and we got to know each other a little bit. And he invited me to interview at this men's mentoring program.
Mm-hmm.
And the program is to help guys 18 to 25 that are off track in life and not sure what to do or how to go about doing it. So I'm the one that's off track in life, struggling to know what to do with my life and all that. But they want me to be what's called a house leader, where you live in the house and learn and teach the guys life skills and help them to stay organized and disciplined, those types of things. So I go to the facility, or not the facility, really, it's a property, and it's 20 acres, rolling hills with a pet resort on the property, barking dogs behind fences, and outdoor living spaces for the dogs, and then a farmhouse on the right side as you drive in, green grass, American flag. It's super idyllic. Drive in, park my car, walk up the cement walkway to the front door, knock on the door. And Jack opens the door and says, "You're Kyle?" And I say yes. And we shake hands and I meet him. And then I sit down and meet Christian, the director of the program. And we spend the next hour and a half in an interview. And they're talking about the program, asking me, of course, a ton of questions. At the end of the interview, Jack asked me, "Do you want the job?" And I've never gone to an interview where I was offered the job on the spot, when especially this is the only job I've ever had where I lived in the place,
Right.
but on the spot. And I'm like, well, I felt like I was being pressed down into the couch that I was sitting on. We sat on these two ratty couches between the two of us, or the three of us. And the whole time I just felt like there was some gentle hands on my shoulders telling me, "You belong here, stay here." So I said yes. And that meant committing to living with these guys for a year and helping them get their lives on track. So I turned myself around quite a bit, finished up college, turned myself around, lost some weight, and then got into the program and helped those guys. Very long story short with that is I spent the next 9.5 years as part of that program in 3 different roles. First house leader, then I ran the business that supported it, and then I ran the program altogether. I tell you all that because Jack was the founder of the program and is still working there.
Yeah.
He started it in his early 50s, and he had not graduated. He had sold businesses and made millions of dollars, and so he's still running the program. And he's never taken a salary from the program. He's always done it for free and never held another job either.
Right.
So every Tuesday for 9 years, just about at 11 a.m., he would mentor me. So at one point, I remember asking him, I think it was on a drive to a mentoring lunch,
Sure.
Jack, how many businesses have you run? And he told me 30. And he'd successfully run and sold 30 business. Well, probably not all successfully. I think he told me they weren't all successful, but a majority of them were. And sold them.
Yeah.
And I had the fortune of being mentored by him. And I got my master's in business administration, not literally, but through working directly with him for those 9 years and running the program and having all that mentorship. So without him, that's a very long answer, I know. But without him, there is no way I would even attempt to be doing what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's powerful. So he made such an impact. He changed what you are doing for your future today. It turned the tables on what you were studying or in college for. You had someone give you real life education, I like to say, right? That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just remember sitting at Tahoe Joe's in San Luis Obispo, California, and biting into my bacon blue burger and being just kind of impressed at the opportunity that I had to be mentored, but frustrated with him too, because he always pushed me so dang hard.
Yeah, gotcha. I got you. Well, now that you got this, you're very blessed, very fortunate to have someone that's, came alongside and took you under their arm and is just kind of nurtured and poured into you. My second question is, well, how does Kyle today impact others so that they could understand the value that they have and be valuable leaders themselves? How would you say you do that?
Yeah, I think my framework is a good example of that because it helps people first be aware of who they are and become more and more self-aware of that. Right. And I teach them a method of accountability that is really powerful and effective. And if you put those two together, people grow. And if you grow, you got to empower other people to help you in your growth, and then they grow and so on and so forth. And then you loop back around. Once you've empowered other people and you've grown, you need to loop back around to become more self-aware. So my framework does that, and I do that through my coaching. But in a more, I guess, concrete sense, I've built a community of business owners on Facebook called Blue Shirt Business Community. And it's a community of business owners that are looking for insights about how to manage their time better, how to grow their business, how to become the go-to in their industries, that type of thing. And then I'm part of a few nonprofits where I'm helping to bring awareness to them of leadership and teaching to them, but also donating to local nonprofits that have kind of Christian values to them, and we give money to them. So that's a couple things. I'm doing other things as well, but those are some of the ways that I'm looking to give back and working to give back.
Yeah, right. And I love the fact that you spoke of, regarding your community and the nonprofits that you're serving, because they're in the business of serving, right? Yeah. And so it sounds like that's how you're paying it forward, is through service. You serve, those organizations and those people that are serving, and that's how together we get stronger. So, I mean, that's a beautiful way of how to really put in place ways for other people that can benefit and see their value. Hands down, service, leadership is by far one of the things you have to do. I talk about service in the book, The Valuable Leader, as a foundational step. Every day you need to take a step towards how are you serving. And because I know Zig Ziglar, and he always says that if you would help enough people, get what they want, then you will get what you want. And that gets down to just having a heart for service. So
you mentioned Zig Ziglar, and it's funny. Yeah. I'm listening to his tape series called Over the Top.
Okay.
And I've been listening to it for the last week and a half or so. And so that's super familiar to me.
Yes.
And
yes.
I don't have it right here because it's on my floor in my bedroom, but it's an affirmations, it's his affirmations card
Right.
that I've been using for the last probably 3 days. I just started using it, and I
Right.
printed it out for my kids.
Right.
And honestly, talking about giving back, helping people to see the most highest level of what they can be
Yeah.
and speaking that type of mindset, because that's my real work, is mindset work with my clients, because
Sure.
that's what sticks, and
Right.
teaching them how to see themselves from this new angle, this new perspective on who they are
Right.
and who they're born to be.
Right.
That pays forward generations,
Yeah.
right? So because of that, I have my kids reading the affirmations, and they're, my youngest can't quite read yet, but my two middle kiddos, or two oldest kids, I mean, they're reading it now too, which I find really exciting, because
Yeah.
there's something about just plugging that into your brain and it
Sure.
moves you forward as a leader of yourself.
Right, right. Yeah, you have to, I always say you have to first lead yourself. You have to fly, right? You've got to first lead yourself. And that's the most important person you're going to have a conversation with today is going to be yourself. So you are spot on about, having that mindset of you've got to have good self-talk, and affirmations do that. So outstanding. I love it. All right. So listeners want to know one big takeaway. And I always love to give my guests the opportunity to share what's on their heart. So if you could give one big takeaway that you would say, if I could share with listeners today something that would help them become a valuable leader, to just grow as a leader themselves and add more value to the lives of others, what would that big takeaway be?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, and I want to share like 15 things, of course, right? But I can't. So I want to share with your listeners or your viewers the what I call the accountability pass. And it's something that I created as I reverse engineered the process in which I make sure that I do the things I say I want to do.
Right.
And after doing some research, I found out that this process, this sounds a little crazy, but this process will help you accomplish 95% of the things you set out to do, right?
Okay.
You have to follow every step of it,
Hmm.
but it's 95% likelihood of accomplishing it. So there's a little teaser to get people to want to really listen.
Absolutely. Right.
But Pat, so I love acronyms. So you said FLY, which I wrote down because it's a great acronym. Blue is obviously an acronym, but PASS is as well.
Right.
And it stands for passive active structures in self.
Okay.
So there's 4 components to high level accountability. And
Mhm.
when I say accountability, I'm not talking about moral or ethical, not necessarily.
Mhm.
I'm assuming that your viewers have high integrity and they're highly ethical and moral people. I'm not worried
Right.
about that. We're
Right.
more talking about, hey, I want to call 10 people this today and talk to them about my business, or I want to follow up and do these steps, or
Right.
whatever it is, right? And then we don't quite do it.
Right.
Well, this process will help people follow through all the way. So P is passive. Vilma, when you think about some goals you have in life right now, what's one big goal that you have?
Mhm.
Go
Oh,
ahead and share it with me.
yeah. So a big goal I have is I want to have online courses
Okay.
that I can reach more people through that, and help to really give them 24-hour access to me in a way that is accessible. Yeah.
For what purpose?
Because I know that the materials, the models that I have, the principles, and all the all the mistakes I've made, and the learnings and the certifications can really help other people become better leaders and live bigger lives. And when I say become a better leader, I'm talking about a leader of yourself and of your business. And a bigger life is about really being fulfilled, living a life of not just success, but significance.
Cool. Okay, great. You nailed it. So when it comes to passive accountability, we need to get to the heart of why we're doing what we're doing, why we
Yeah.
want that goal to be accomplished. Not just in general what we're doing, but the one particular goal.
Sure.
So you're talking about those courses, and you have a very clear why that serves other people. Without the service of other people, it's a little bit more difficult to do this passive part.
Right.
The passive part is now you go and tell your reason to people, as many people as possible. And you're doing it on this show, and you're doing it probably in other ways as well. So when I wrote my first book and my second book, I told a bunch of people, 30, 40, 50, 60 people, that I intended to write a book. Not that I
Right.
wrote it, but I
Right.
intended to write it.
Right.
And then I told them why. What happens there? People get engaged. They go, oh, that's really cool. You want to help people have access to your courses so they can level up and get to be this better version of themselves, right?
Right.
Lead themselves well. And so people get intrigued, and then they ask you about it. They say, how's it going with those courses that you wanted to develop?
Right.
And that's passive accountability, because they're just following up with you on their own volition.
Right.
Right. So you tell enough people, and that keeps you on top of things because you're reminded to do it.
Right.
Okay. Then active, the A in pass, is active accountability.
Okay.
What's active? Okay. So now you've told 30, 40, 50 people about this thing that you're trying to do.
Right.
And usually you're going to get 10% or less of the people to follow up with you. But it's a great filter, because those that do follow up with you genuinely care at a high level. It's not that the other
Right.
people don't care, or at
Right.
least not all of them don't care. Anyway,
They care. It's just the degree of care.
exactly. So then let's say 2 or 3 follow up with you, and one of them, you're like, that's the person that I want to connect with. And so you connect with them and you ask them, hey, Joe or Susie, would you be willing to connect with me on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis to hold each other accountable on the goals that we're trying to achieve? And I've never had anybody say no. Right. So they say yes. And now you connect with each other, eyeball to eyeball or ear hole
Right.
to ear hole, and talk about what's going on with these goals. So that's active accountability. Then there's structures. So structures is simply your to-do list and your calendar as it relates. This is your plan as it relates to the goal. So you have the people is the calendar, the people
Right.
part that's involved with accomplishing your goal. And then the task list is the things part that's involved with your goal. And you just stay on top of those two things. There's a lot of other ways. And I do a whole workshop on this, so it'd take too long. But there's a lot of other ways to create structures. But those two are the primary ones. And then the last, is self-accountability.
Yeah.
So self-accountability is the no looking back, the no turning back concept. And there's actually a concept in scripture that talks about once you put the hand to the plow, you don't want to look back.
Right.
Well, as you're plowing towards this goal,
Right.
we can't look back on other opportunities.
Right.
And the way that I describe it is, have you ever jumped out of an airplane?
No.
Okay. Have you ever done bungee jumping or gone on a zip line through a forest?
No.
Okay, well,
I'm scared of heights.
oh, okay. So if you zip line through a forest, let's say,
Right.
once you're hooked up, you're not committed still.
Right.
You decided that you're going to do the zip lines, but you're not committed. Once you're jump and start moving your momentum forward onto that zip line,
There's no turning back.
there's no turning back. And
Yeah.
that's commitment.
Right.
So self-accountability is about not deciding to do something, but committing and not being able to turn back. And for yourself and for me and for people that are watching, we have to go, what is that point of no return to make sure that I'm fully committed? And then those other 3 components help to maintain that accountability for yourself, because nobody can truly hold you accountable. They
Right.
can only point out things, but you have to take the actions.
Right. Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
No, when you talk about self-accountability, it reminds me of this little parable that says, there's this chicken, right? And the chicken lays the eggs, right? And he says, I'm accountable for providing breakfast. I mean, I lay eggs every day you're going to get some fresh eggs to be able to have. And then you've got this pig, and the pig says, no, I understand accountability, man. I'm the bacon. So it's a totally different, I know I'm not good at jokes, but that's as best as I can get. But it is a totally different level when you talk about commitment, right? Pig, he's the bacon, man. He's given up everything for the breakfast. Whereas the chicken, I'm giving you some eggs, but I'm still okay. It's a little bit of, my 1 foot in for accountability. And what you're talking about is that, you all in, you're burning all your bridges, right? There's no turning back, and you're just moving forward, and you stay forward. And that's why they say that in the car, your rear view mirror looks like this.
Yep.
Your windshield is like this. You got to keep looking forward. So I love that past. What a great model to share with us. I was jotting down some notes there, but thank you so much for that really good nugget of a big thing that people could take away here today. To be able to really accomplish their goals. And there's about a 95% chance that you're going to get those goals. So I love that. And if you write
Yep.
them down, that's even, speaks volumes to it as
Yep.
well. So
That's the structures part, right? That's getting
yeah,
it on the calendar and your to-do list. And
yeah,
I would challenge the viewers. What is your goal right now?
yeah,
Figure out the real, true heart meaning of that goal, and
yeah,
then make a list of 10 people you can tell in
yeah,
the next 2 days.
yeah,
Make that list, and then start telling those 10 people. And
right.
then you're rolling, you're moving forward with that pass in very powerful ways.
I love it. That's excellent. Oh man, that's so good. All right. So tell listeners that are, hearing you, seeing you for the first time, tell them how they could learn more about you and what you do.
Yeah, there's 2 ways that I would recommend. I would recommend going to the Blue Shirt Business Community on Facebook, and I'll give you a link for that, Velma. And then secondly, go to blueshirtcoaching.com. That's my website, and you can connect with me. There's basically just a start here form to fill out to connect with me, and we can talk about whatever area you want to focus on. And those are the two best ways. I'm on all the social media channels as well, but you're going to get the best of me in the community because we do weekly networking meetups in the community, and so you'll get direct access to my community and myself in there, and it's a lot of fun to learn from each other and grow in the process.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, great. So we have that. We'll drop it in so that folks will be able to connect or to follow you and learn more about what Kyle does. Kyle, it is you are just a little joy. I'm just so excited to be able to have you on your leadership chat, and I thank you so much for the nuggets you shared with us. Such valuable takeaways as well. Thank you again.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks so much for watching another episode of Your Leadership Chat. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button here and tap that bell icon so that you never miss another episode. I hope too that you'll give us a thumbs up on the video for a like. And then if you feel led, please share the video with those who need to see it. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Your Leadership Chat. Bye for now.